Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Fahey and I'm a visual artist and teacher, and today I'm going to look at doing something on the expressionist side of painting. And I talk a lot in my videos about intuitive painting and expressing yourself. Well, that's what I really want to do today. It's been one of those weeks where it's been up and down with some really deep dives down. So today I wanted to kind of let it all out. And when I talk about intuitive painting, this is very much where we're at. But you could say it's expressionist painting, where you really just allow yourself to let go. Now, I've been working a little bit on this painting and this one next to it, but I want to just completely change it. I want to do something different. So I've got some different paints, some big brushes and rollers, and some silicone spatulas, and we're going to have some fun. I've got no idea what's going to happen, and I've got a complete open mind to how it's going to unfold. The most important thing is, though, I'm going to release all the angst that's happened over the week and see what happens. So let's dive in and have some fun. So I'm going to start off with this lovely roller. It's for decorating, but it does the absolute trick. And I'm just going to really put my whole heart and soul and body into this. So I'm dampening this down a little bit, just to give it a little bit. I don't want it too wet. And I'm actually going to start with some red. Okay, here we go. So I'm going in with this lovely big roller, and you can see I'm really using all my body with it. And it's very exhilarating and enjoyable to just kind of go for it and have fun with it, really. And I think I was inspired to do this big painting by seeing a wonderful documentary about the Expressionists and how they really went to to do some fantastic stuff with their painting, with Jackson Pollock and de Kooning and many of the other amazing expressionist artists that started the whole movement in the States in the 1940s. So that inspired me to throw caution to the wind and just go for it. So I think it's worth experimenting yourself to do something like this. And I know that, sometimes if you've got a big canvas, it can be a bit intimidating. But actually, if you approach it in this way, there's nothing to be intimidated about. You can just have fun and play, but just do it on a bigger scale and see what happens. You'll see as I progress through doing this painting, how many layers it goes through and how it changes. And really, all these beginning layers are allowing you and giving you permission to enjoy yourself and express yourself. It's certainly doing that for me. I'm getting rid of all my tensions and things that have been happening. It's all kind of disappearing with getting involved with this crazy painting. And I'm really enjoying the whole process, as you can see, with no thought, no preconceived ideas, not having any idea what might happen. at the end of the day, and we'll see. You'll have to stay tuned to see how it progresses. And you can, get your own ideas for what you might do by doing something similar yourself. Now I'm using a big spatula, and again it gives some beautiful effects because you can scrape in and pick up some of the colour from underneath, so you're seeing the layers, and again just moving very freely and allowing just things to happen, letting go and happen. And I've actually started this painting. I think it must be 2 months ago. I did the first layer when I was doing my Ultimate Art Connection course, which is my 4-week course. And I started this whole series of three paintings. So it's a while that it's been in the studio. Having done the first layer, you've probably seen it a couple of times in my videos. And then the time came, I thought, right, I'm going to do something with this great big painting, with this canvas. And, it doesn't matter how long it might take. You can go at your own speed. There's no kind of time limit on it. When the mood gets you, really, allow that to happen and go for it. And, it's lovely to do something big, but you can obviously try out things and this kind of thing on a smaller piece to start with if you're a bit anxious to begin with a big canvas. And in my free abstract mini course, I go through a lovely process very similar to this, but a smaller version. That you can, start with some free drawing and then put your colours in, decide on your palette, and it goes through a lovely process to really help you get started. So if you'd like to go and have a look at that, the information is in the description below. And it's the free abstract mini course. I think there's 5 lessons to take you through a lovely process. So a good start, and I'm going to let it dry now and then come back to it and then take the next step. But it's so interesting that I've still got some of the shapes from underneath coming through, and I might capitalize on that once it's dried. But you can see how just letting go can, it's so releasing. And I haven't worked on a big painting for quite some time. So, if you haven't done this before, then I would really recommend you trying it, because it gives you such a buzz, an adrenaline rush. So I've come back to this painting now, and all dry, and it's got, a lot of energy in it and a really great foundation to start something. So I've got a graphite pencil here, and just to loosen up and get into the zone, I'm just going to do some free drawing on it. Okay, so that's going to start me off. So let's go. So I'm going to start with this big brush and get my paints all going. So exciting. So I've speeded it up again, just because, it takes a while and we don't want to be here all day. So, what excites you about abstract painting? It'd be lovely to hear your thoughts about that in the comments. And if you've got any questions, do ask me, because I always answer them. But it's fascinating to, know what turns you on about abstract painting, and possibly what challenges do you have? What do you feel sometimes, stops you? from doing all the things that you would like to do. So it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts about it. So do let me know. And if you're enjoying the video so far, then please like and subscribe. That would be fantastic. And it's all for free. And, you know, I have a lot of views. And if you just press the subscribe button, YouTube loves it and helps me share the paintings to a lot more people. So that would be fantastic. Thank you. So back to the painting. I'm obviously in my red mood at the moment. A lot of red is going on, and I'm using my palette knife here to really make some nice kind of marks to make it to give me some really thick paint. And now I'm using my scraper. So, you know, you can get so many fantastic effects if you use quite a bit of paint and then go in with the scraper. And you'll see I use this a lot throughout the painting. And it's just lovely because you can get all those layers coming through from underneath, and very kind of spontaneous effects with it, which I love that effect that it brings, and it adds this lovely texture to the painting. So if you haven't tried using one of the scrapers, then I would absolutely recommend that you do. So I'm coming in now with some dark. I've mixed some black with blue and a little bit of the magenta. So it's not just harsh black on its own. You know, we want to try and harmonize the colors together. So when you are mixing, you don't want to just have straight black because it's a little bit hard. And now I'm adding a little bit of that blue as extra. So it gives some nice contrasts and new values to the painting. So you can see it's beginning to develop a little bit more structure to it, some more actual planes of colour rather than all mixed together. And you'll find this yourself as you're painting, that, you know, you get to a stage where you think, okay, now I want to block in some colours and make some different shapes. You might follow the drawing that you've done. And as I was saying about the mini course, we do the drawing and you can follow, you know, what you have drawn in. But if you're working like this very freely, then, you know, you can create your shapes as you go. So now I'm putting some of that blue and I've mixed that with some of the magenta. So I'm getting this lovely purple, lilac feel, and, you know, swapping between the scraper and the brush and balancing the picture up. And again, talking about balance, you know, when you're using different colors, see how you can balance that up actually on the painting. So if you've got something, you know, large in one corner or on one side, like I have with the black, then balance it up and you start, you know, getting some form and some shape with your paintings. Now I've started to add some green, obviously the complementary to the red. And again, these are just layers that I'm putting in to start with, which I really want underneath when I come back when it's dried. I want to have some of that green and turquoise coming through from underneath, as you will see as we go. But, you know, as you build the layers, the colour starts to really strengthen up, and you start to get this feeling that the painting has some substance, and it builds up, if you like, a history of the painting. You know, it's not just one layer. In building the layers up, you're building an experience and something is happening that's exciting underneath. And you can really use that. And using the scraper, you get that feel of the colours from underneath. So it's slowly coming together, isn't it? It's a fascinating way to paint when you're painting abstracts. I think this is the beauty of it, really, that, you know, you're allowed to do anything that comes into your mind. You know, if you don't like it, you can paint over it, and that's the beauty of it. And it's not, nothing is a mistake, because it builds into the history of the painting. So if you're kind of worried about doing something, do it anyway, because you'll discover something. If you know, it just might turn out amazingly. You never know if you don't try. You know, what's that wonderful saying? Feel the fear and do it anyway. And, you know, you'll learn something as you go. One of the interesting things about the documentary that I was watching about the Expressionists was that they threw all the rules out of the window. All the rules about composition and about, you know, how they were putting paint on. And it really sort of started off this whole movement of abstract painting as we know it today. And I think we should be so thankful for them that, you know, they did that, because it allows us to do these expressive paintings ourselves. You know, they set something in motion which is wonderful for us, and we've just got to learn how to let go and do the same thing. Throw the rules out of the window and just have fun and go for it and express how you're feeling. And for me now, as I'm working on this, you know, what I was concerned about and what I wanted to get rid of, all my stresses, you know, it completely just dissolves. And we're allowed to do that with our painting. You know, how lucky are we that we're able to do that? So I'm putting some dark in here now. This is going to develop, and I kind of feel that something is beginning to occur to me of how the painting wants to go. So I'm going with that flow, and I think you'll find the same thing will happen with you, that as you're really involved with it, it starts telling you, you know, go here, do this, use this color. If you listen to it and don't interfere with it, something starts to happen. And it's really magical when you think about it. You know, we're creating something that is unique to us, and it's very special. And really kind of go on that track with yourself. See how it wants to take you. You're sort of listening to the painting in a way, and it's giving you something and telling you something. I've started to use quite a bit of this magenta, which I love that colour, and I think it's you know, clashes, but it goes with the red. You might not necessarily wear that as clothes, but, you know, in a painting, I think it adds something really special. It's such a beautiful colour. And then blending it in again with the scraper, seeing how that that will work. I'm gone back to the round brush now, and I'm just kind of dabbing in to make some extra texture. I'll probably go over it again with the scraper, but it does add some texture. Added a little bit of white to it here, and it breaks it up a little, and balancing it up at the top. But, you know, again, it might just disappear as we go. But that was the feeling that I wanted to go with. And, you know, using different tools and experimenting with different brushes, particularly the big ones, you know, you'll be surprised at what might happen.
So, really push the boundaries, have fun with it, and really kind of go with how you feel, what wants to come out, what colours are you feeling you want to use. You know, don't be safe, be adventurous and experiment and discover something, and you'll enjoy the process so much. You just, well, if you're like me, you just get hooked on it. You don't want to stop. So I'm now again adding a bit more texture by using a kitchen roll and dabbing out some of the paint and then printing it on. Again, lots of interesting things just come into my mind as I'm painting, and things happen. So you allow the same thing to happen with you.
So we're making more progress, and it's very wet now, so I'm going to let it dry again and then have a think about it and see how I feel. But it's an interesting process, isn't it? I love using the scraper because you get so many wonderful effects, and you can still see all the red behind, and I think it's really lovely. One of the things I'd like to just talk about for a second is, how we're building up the layers and the process that it goes through and how I feel. Now, it's interesting because when I started it at the beginning, I was getting rid of all my energy and my angst. And as you work through, your feeling changes, and my feeling has changed. So it's moved into a new place. And I think that this is one of the wonderful things about painting, is that if you're, stuck on something and you start letting your creativity move you into doing something, whether it's doodling or just drawing or whatever it might be, painting, obviously with me here, it changes how you feel. And I have a whole different feeling today than I did when I first started the painting. So it's a fascinating process when you look at it in that way. So now I'm kind of feeling that I might like to do a little bit of drawing on it. So I've got some charcoal, and I had the feeling that there was going to be these two figures. So I want to sort of see where that might take me. So for the next stage, really, of the painting. I also think I have another figure here, which is kind of interesting. So I'm just going to mark this a little bit with the charcoal. This one I feel can come down here, and it will kind of make a difference to where I take the painting to now. And then obviously I've got this head here, and it appears that it's looking out towards the outside of the painting. So I'm going to kind of define this a little and see, where that might take me. And it starts to give it a little bit of structure, and I will kind of go with it to see how that might develop. Let's bring this down here. It's going to be in front. And I feel that when you start doing this, when you get to this place and you can feel into where you are, then something emerges. And for me at the moment, my whole process and series of paintings has been about figures, and there's a very big story for me around that, and the dynamic of it. And I'm kind of painting all that out. And I feel that, if you know what you're painting out, then the painting becomes that much more interesting, not only for you, but for the audience. You know, we've all got our story. I'm always talking about this, and your uniqueness is about your story. So when you're painting, see what's coming out that is reflecting something back to you. I always feel that that's kind of an important aspect of painting that's going to give you a lot more satisfaction, rather than just random go, which you can do, and there's nothing wrong with that, but your paintings will have that much more depth and resonance if you're actually painting out your story and allowing that to happen. And that's the intuitiveness of painting, following those instincts, being spontaneous, and then seeing where it goes. So that's what I'm doing now, and I feel that it's going to go in a very interesting direction. So I'm going to leave this for now. I've got a way I want to go with it, and I will do the next process for the next video coming up next week. Every Sunday I bring a video out, so press the notification button and subscribe, and you'll get the next stage to it, which is quite exciting. And all the links that I talked about are in the description below for my free mini course and the other things that I do to help you really extend your horizons with your painting. So thank you so much for watching, and enjoy your painting. It's great that you're here to look at the process. There are so many different processes, but you will find your own. I can only guide you through my process. See how you feel when you're painting to discover yours. So let's carry on for next week, and I shall see you then. Bye for now.